I forgot to start recording. So if the stream fails and you're just joining us on a YouTube link that I send up later today, all I said at the beginning was, yeah, the streams they're only going to get better from here, man. And that that is that. I had a total breakdown yesterday. After that song, I felt like it didn't bode well, and I connected it um, a lot to the political spectrum. But as I was driving around, I realized I haven't connected a lot of these to COVID, and I think it runs in parallel with our Ninja Queen issues um and those really um those could be speaking on someone from my political perspective, um, which is liberal, which is love each other, help each other out, and yet they could, and so from that perspective, I've been using the Ninja Queen to sort of talk about the darkness that the attempted insurrection, the smearing human poop on the walls of our Capitol building, that kind of stuff, and sort of touting Donald Trump as the Ninja Queen. But I want to make clear, um, folks who believe in evil don't even get the Ninja Queen card. There's not a card for those people. That's the problem with evil, is it doesn't make good music. Period. Look at Kid Rock. Um, so here we are on the 10th of January, the year 2021, and it is 10:30 in the morning. Pretty good for me for a weekend. Let's get right into it. Um, I wanted to point out there are 83 cards in this deck. 83 cards. This is still a proto deck, of course, and I've checked the balance of it a number of times, and it seems to be set really well, and it keeps things interesting. It's really hard to get two of the same draws, and that really is part of the point. There are a few cards we haven't yet run into. We haven't even run into the minor seventh chord card, which is called the Crow. We also haven't run into the Unidonkey card, and I'll show you that one here in a minute. There's only one Unidonkey card in this deck, and what's a Unidonkey, you might say? Well, a Unidonkey is a donkey with a unicorn horn. That looks like this. Yeah. So you can see that's our 7 chord. If you're a music theory head, you know that the 7 chord, in terms of those diatonic chords that we use, you know that the 7 chord is very rarely used and almost never used in root position. For those of you who are not music theory heads, here's kind of how a normal here's how a standard kind of major or minor chord might sound. Major, balanced, maybe a little chintzy. Minor, balanced, maybe a little dark. It often gives people a feeling of sadness, and I think it's darker. It's more beautiful, and then we've got the unidonkey chord, which is a different type of chord called diminished. Woo! And that chord on its own is just almost never used. Sometimes you'll hear it kind of like this. But really, it is not often a chord unto itself in a song. And even when it is, it's skirted by quickly. But you'll notice the unidonkey chord when, and that's one from another deck. I didn't just take that out of this one. There is only one in the deck. But the unidonkey chord on its own, crazy. We add one note below that, and suddenly we've got ba, 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 ba. We've got one of the most famous and used chords in all of music history. So even though the unidonkey doesn't often make an appearance, anytime the train comes on, um, anytime the train comes on, you're getting the unidonkey on the hood ornament of that train. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm seeing comments and stuff. What I'm doing today is actually using my my daughter's Wi-Fi hotspot, and that's working out. I guess I didn't think it would, but here we are, getting almost a megabyte per second, and I'm gonna start the draw. And Steven says, "I'm sure Trump would love being called a ninja queen," and I kind of think he like secretly would, and that's a little why I don't like it. Because she's one of my favorites. I'm cutting the deck here. All right. So thanks for joining me today, man. That really means a lot. You're seeing you, Steven, seeing you jam out there, um, had a lot to do with me doing this right now. So thank you double. Here comes the draw for today, and we've got the trickster starting us out. A little parlor trick, maybe. The trickster on a dark horse. Now, that doesn't matter because the trickster is on a dark horse. So, in fact, this cancels not just because it doesn't matter, but because then the trickster can be stacked upon with other cards, and we'll see what happens there. Metamorphosis, the trickster, flat, fun, fun. The twins. Oh, this will be interesting. The twins have a backseat driver again. Let's just get that figured out. And it's G, and a non-root bass note. That's what we need for a backseat driver. And the chord E minor, which is the twins, is made up of E, G, and B. And so we need one of those, E, G, or B. And the one I drew was G, just out of pure luck. And so that's going to be E minor over G. Little slight difference. E minor over G. Little bit of emptiness down there. And that's what we get when we put a different note in the bass than the root. And the conductor is here. We're going to be on the train. Oops, I drew two. Here we go. The conductor on a white horse. And the conductor is already on a white horse, meaning a major chord. So that one gets thrown out. And then the angel makes an appearance here. Any modify? An angel on the dark horse. So we're going to get a minor 4 chord. That can be really sweet. Let's see if there are any other modifiers. And there are. Moly moly. Now there's about these metamorphosis cards, because I really haven't seen these come up during all of the testing quite this much. There's only 2 metamorphosis sharp cards and 2 metamorphosis flat cards. And so that the other, when we've been drawing 3 of those cards, that's like 3 aces, man. That's a rare kind of situation. And another sharp. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And then the mayor, and that gets tossed out and ends the draw, because we only get 4 character cards in any given draw using this system. So this is some tremendously interesting things going on here with this. I'm just going to play them through. And so we've got D flat minor. We've got E minor over G. We've got the conductor G major. And then we've got the angel transposed up to be B minor. Hey, you know, this one's really interesting. Nice and unique. A lot of weird things going on. Let me draw these out, and we'll get right into the jam. The 2 but flat, which is D flat minor. We'll keep those kind of up there. The twins, the 3, which are over. I'm just going to write G in here. Again, breaking some music theory rules, but that's all right. These are just for my notes and for us talking about it. And then E minor over G, a straight up G chord, number 5. Chord card number 5. Yeah, my old school will get that one. And then you know what I did wrong? I did something terribly wrong. For some reason I started this F chord at an A and went sharp twice and made B minor. Total clerical error. This F chord transposed up 2 sharps becomes a G chord, and it's on a dark horse, so it's G minor. So I'll throw out your memories of what I just played, and I'm just gonna write minor because I don't like looking at handwritten Roman numerals that are minor, that don't have an I in them. I like to remind my I that this is a minor 5 and not a 5 like that. Just one of my notes for myself. Let's hear how this goes really. Interesting. Oh, that won't do. Okay, a lot of good stuff going on here. And by good I mean chewy. I'm not so sure this is a very happy kind of draw here. You can already sort of tell it's got a lot of dissonance. Dissonance being when a sound it's hard to hear, kind of hurts your ears, notes conflict with each other. It's dissing on your ear. That's how I teach my kids to remember it. And then I also have to explain to them what dissing means. But the the dissonance here, as opposed to consonance, which is balanced and easy to listen to, but can become chintzy upon indulgence. D flat minor, E minor over G. Okay, let's just put this thing in the bank, and I'm gonna start this up. We're going 99 beats per minute today. Even though this is a kind of a sluggish mess, I think that's going to be the right way. There we go. And beats per minute, 99. There we go. All right. Turn that guy back on. I'll buy that. hiss from the mic. I'm going to turn the mic off for a minute. So technically, I did end up making that that G minor for a second before it turns into G minor. I do end up making that G a G major 7 by adding that melody. Okay. So let's get to the last part of this where I kind of, now that I've worked with it a little bit, I talk about um, the metaphors and things in here. And got some more good comments. Thank you, Stacy. Um, the so this uh, I even kind of stopped playing because this one's intensely hard to improvise over. For me, Miles Davis wouldn't have a problem with that, but the the problem is this piece has no tonality, um, and what do I mean by that? Well, when we hear some music, it pushes us in a direction. It makes us want to feel something in particular, or if it doesn't, we call it atonal music. That means we don't have a mayor, kind of. We don't have a home spot to go back to and satisfy us that this story has been resolved in some way. It when you listen to this and you feel that sense of disconnection, like it takes some practice to hear this one, to be able to understand where it's going with your ears, and that practice is just when you hear anything 3 times, you're going to be able to model it in your mind and reproduce it and likely appreciate it. And I've come to appreciate this one, but I'm having a really hard time getting a melody to thread through it that starts one way and ends nicely, but then because we go right back to the beginning, it's kind of like these two guys are in one world, and I'm not pointing at this thing anymore. All right, it's kind of like this D flat minor and E minor over G are in a world that works. Oops, sorry. They're a little awkward together, but they're doing it. And then these two guys are in a great world together. There's a nice transition there. And that feels to me like they're having an easy time getting on the train. Remember, this 5 chord is the conductor. He always asks, "Want to go home?" And they're like, "Yeah, we want to go home." But then in comes the angel on a dark horse. Right after G major, we get G minor. And that is an inadvisable move in most cases, going straight from a major to a minor chord. I did write a song when I was a kid that went like this. And sort of made a melody out of the awkwardness we feel when we hear a minor chord and then hear a major version of the same chord right after it. It doesn't play well with others, that move. And for the angel to be doing that, well, there are a few different ways I could interpret this. Let me start with the way that I've been running this ongoing story about the Ninja Queen stealing the fairy moon of power, and then they lost the fairy moon. He gave it to the twins, and they ran off with it, but they dropped it or it smeared poop all over it or something, and that disappeared, and they were left yesterday only with levitation to lie about who they are inside, only with levitation to be a sus4 chord on what is a minor chord, but it hides that minorness of the chord. And so things were looking pretty grim for them, but they owned the train. There was the Ninja Queen, then the train, then the Ninja Queen, and then the twins with the levitation. And that made yesterday kind of a sluggish feel, kind of a dark march of secret zombies. Got that title from Steven yesterday. And now we've got the trickster back, and the trickster is the one who stole the fairy moon in the first place, according to our story. The trickster being of the 6 chords that we use. Remember, the 7th is the unidonkey chord, and that one doesn't often get used. Of those 6 chords we use, 3 are major, 3 are minor, and 1 of each category are major players, are big players, and that's the mayor and the Ninja Queen. The trickster and the twins are the other 2 minor chords, in this arcana, and in this arcanum, I guess. Yeah. And the twins, they can go, their little message on their card says, dark or light, the path decides. The twins are the swing states. The twins are the undecided. And because they're undecided, that tends them toward minor, toward the darker sound, because being undecided is a decision, and it's a decision not to participate in certain ways. And everyone gets in that space for a little while, but then you do what's right and you come out of it. And so the twins can be pushed either way. The trickster likes to steal the train, and it isn't. There's a few good uses where the trickster ends up having a real positive sound, and it's usually when the trickster is just riding the train or stealing the train, like something like this guy. There, that trickster comes in. There he is. Can really be jazzy. The trickster is the way evil is sexier, and so in this case, the trickster is flat, and we get this D flat minor chord. And it's walking right up to the twins, who have the train's root note in their bass. That G, E minor over G, the G is the root note for the train. And that brings just a connection with the train. And that makes me think either the twins are driving the train, or they've captured the train and they're on the thing. Or, maybe the train has captured them. If I were to use that metaphor in the same way, I used yesterday's non-root bass note, which was the A under the E minor chord, or that was a non-tonal bass note, A under the E minor. That was telling me the Ninja Queen was controlling the twins, but maybe even that was the other way around. Maybe the twins brought the Ninja Queen into existence, right? And that he is the ultimate mascot of that kind of trickery and hucksterness, and well, anyways, let's go on. So then the train's right there, and the angel on the dark horse turns the train into G minor. The transformed angel. This is the danger situation today, and man, it's a little more fun than yesterday's, but this doesn't bode well either. This tells me there's a so let's continue with this metaphor and talk about something like being deplatformed, being flattened like this, being deplatformed and sent to sort of one main platform. When you're kicked off of all of the services and you retreat to your own service that you created yourself, you become much, much, much more dangerous to yourself and others when you stop interacting with the rest of the world. And so that, I'm going to say that that's where that's from. The trickster being flat is being deplatformed. But the twins, they still have a backseat driver, and it's the train. Maybe they're stuck on the train. They all went and smeared their waste on the Capitol, and then retreated to maybe their own train. And yesterday, the angel came in right at the end, and I got happy about that, because it was like the angel was. Wait, was that yesterday? Oh man, now I'm talking out of the side of my face. Yes, the angel came in. Yes, no, that was 2 days ago. Okay. 2 days ago, the angel came in, and it felt really triumphant when that happened. I'm going to say the continuation of our story goes like this. The trickster has been kicked out, and the trickster and the twins are hanging out together on the train they stole, and it turns out they have actually captured the angel and turned that angel evil. And this is that bizarre train lumbering around our space today, complaining about how it's D flat minor instead of D minor because of being deplatformed, but sitting on the train and just festering and darkening, and And so I'm going to turn it on again, and I'll write out and I'll explain what I think is the words. Melody Impossible. And one last stop here. Melody Impossible. This is Mission Impossible, but the Dark Lord version. This is like if see, it's like if Darth Vader ran a Mission Impossible. No, if Voldemort ran a Mission Impossible movie, directed a Mission Impossible movie. This is what the flavor of Melody Impossible comes from. That is a reference. Left out, fester, forget. And now let me apply this to COVID, because that runs in parallel here. The fact is, we didn't do anything about it. America didn't do anything about it. And I don't mean nobody did anything about it. A lot of people tried to do something about it, but there was a lot in the way, like, forcing people to stay home without sending them any support to do so, like every other country like us did. That was where Congress did stab us in the back. And of course, not all Congress members wanted to do that. But as an aggregate, we got left hung out to dry with COVID. We did. And there's still, all this business with the 600 and the 2,000. This should have been 2,000 every month. You break the bank to save your people because your people are more important than the bank. What are you talking about? Sorry. That's what we did, and we hung ourselves out to dry. And now COVID is marching everywhere. I'm quarantining this week because of an exposure. So many people I know are catching it, and it's because we let it kind of get out of hand. And so where in these characters is our COVID paradigm? You could say that that COVID is kind of the trickster here, and that its flatness in this draw is signaling a decline of, even like there were some nice things about COVID, spending more time with your family and stuff like that. Now all of that's gone sour. And it's just all real right now for so many people, and it's all our fault. We were supposed to come in and take care of each other. But this is the dark angel now. Sharp and hot and ugly, just like it should be. All right. where it's gonna go. Okay. Get away with an A forever. Ha. Man, I'll tell you, there's some good things in here, some fun things in here. I could not do this all day. So let's add some organ to this and tear it up. Little less now. Yeah, let's go up there. Here we go. Oh, I guess I should hit record. Here we go. peace train and you don't like that it's turning into a train to a concentration camp, don't stop fighting. Keep telling the truth. Don't try to make anyone understand the truth. That's their only job, and you can't do it. We burnt a lot of our energy trying to talk people through rational explanations of situations, and it's always the same thing. It's always some kind of semantical difficulty with the argument that you're placing instead of talking about the soul of the argument that you're placing, and it's usually a mistake. So hold tight to your own. Teach your kids not to walk around with swastikas on their shirts. Teach your kids to love each other. Everyone. But don't stay silent today. They are turning the train with the dark angel. And they need to be stopped. But we're not going to stop them today. Today they get to run around and do their thing. Today coronavirus gets to run around and do its thing. And there are a lot of us out here who are brave enough to stop it, but we're pretty broke, we're pretty poor, or we've got a lot to do. It's quickly turning into a situation where none of that's going to matter anymore. And if we need to go on strike as a whole country, we're looking at the next 2 weeks as a time to do that, to get that support, to save the economy, because you can't save the economy by giving money to corporations. That's been proven now. Trickle-down economics did not work, just as many of us were saying it wouldn't. And so now the only way to save businesses is to give people money to give to those businesses. And in fact, it's the people's money that we've already put into the government. So I'm going to try to not be on so many political rants, but the message today is speak out, is tell that truth. Don't believe everything you hear.